Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Dr. Wajid Shabir and I welcome you all to another video on ECG. So this is the ECG which we are going to discuss today. But before starting the discussion on this ECG, I would like you to pause your videos, note down the findings and diagnosis with yourself so that at the end of the video you can compare these findings and diagnoses with the discussion done in this ECG. So let's begin the discussion on this ECG. As you know, the first thing which we look at on an ECG is rhythm. For rhythm, we look at lead 2 or rhythm strip. In lead 2 or rhythm strip, we can find upright P waves before QRS complex. So this is probably a sinus rhythm. Next is heart rate. We normally use a QRS complex which lies on broad vertical line, but in this case we cannot find a QRS complex which lies on broad vertical line. So we will use some other method. As we can see that this is apparently uh, faster heart rate. So we will use formula 1500 divided by number of small squares. So first we will calculate the number of small squares between two QRS complexes. Suppose these two QRS complexes. We can see that the number of small squares is about 5, 10, 11, and 14. So the number of small squares between two QRS complexes in this case is 14. So we have 14 small squares between two QRS complexes. To get the heart rate, we will divide 1500 by 14. So heart rate is about 107 beats per minute. So this is a tachycardia with regular RR intervals. Next is the axis. As we can see that the direction of QRS complex is positive in lead 1 and it is negative in lead AVF. So by the rule of thumb, a positive QRS complex in lead 1 and negative QRS complex in lead AVF means that this is a left axis deviation. Also we can find a broad QRS complex here, a beat with broad QRS complex. This is actually an extrasystole which is of ventricular region, also known as PVC or premature ventricular contraction. Now another important thing which we can find here is there is a prominence after QRS complex in lead V1. So, so this prominence is similar to this P wave in morphology. So this prominence actually denotes some atrial activity, and this atrial activity is at heart rate of about 200 beats per minute. So here this atrial activity could be due to atrial tachycardia, or it could be due to atrial flutter with 2 into 1 AV block. The thing which is in the favor of atrial tachycardia here is that the rate of atrial activity is around 200 beats, while in case of atrial flutter, the atrial activity is around 240 to 350 beats per minute. Also, in case of atrial flutter, there should be negatively deflected P waves in inferior leads like lead 2 and lead 3 because the atrial waves are positive in lead V1. So this is most likely an atrial tachycardia with 2 into 1 AV block. Next you can find that there is poor R-wave progression. Poor R-wave progression means that the transition zone where when there is equalization of R wave and S wave, it lies at V4. Normally the transition zone is at V2 or V3. But here there is a delay in progression of R wave and there is delayed transition zone. This delayed transition zone might be due to ischemia. However, it is also possible that it is due to cardiomyopathy or left ventricular hypertrophy. Also, you can find that there are very deep S waves in lead V2. So, as you know, as per Romit Estates criteria, any S wave which is more than 30 millimeter in lead V1 and V2, it is given 3 points for LVH. Here we have a very deep S wave in lead V2 which is definitely more than 30 millimeter. Also the presence of left axis deviation gives 2 points for left ventricular hypertrophy as per Romit Estates criteria. Whenever there are 5 points per left ventricular hypertrophy as per Romit Estates criteria, it means that there is definite left ventricular hypertrophy. Similarly, there is the QRS interval is borderline. It is around 3 small square. Also, there are ST depressions in lateral leads, that is V4, V5, lead V6 and lead 1 and AVL. These ST depressions along with T wave inversion in this case are most likely due to left ventricular hypertrophy. So to sum up the findings, this is an atrial tachycardia with 2 into 1 AV block. There is left axis deviation, there is an occasional PVC, the R-wave progression is poor in this case, and there is left ventricular hypertrophy as per Romit Estates criteria. So this is all for today. Hopefully you like the ECG. For more ECG videos, kindly subscribe to this channel and stay tuned. Allah Hafiz and take care till next time.